I'm Rory from XR Today, bringing you the latest in news and conversation from the extended reality space. Joining me today is Managing Director of Matterport, James Morris-Manuel. Welcome.
Hi Rory, thank you for having me today.
And thanks for joining me, James. And to kick things off, could you introduce us to Matterport?
With pleasure. So Matterport is the leading spatial data company, and we use artificial intelligence to turn any physical space into an immersive 3D digital twin. And it provides entirely new ways for people to experience, interact with, analyze space, homes, and buildings. And using Matterport, you can create this dimensionally accurate 3D digital twin of any space, but it's highly relevant for not only, residential real estate, but also many other industries. So travel and hospitality, architecture, engineering, construction, insurance, all of these different verticals can use digital twin technology. And essentially, if there's any physical space out there, it can be captured.
Thank you. And could you explain to us some of the business potentials of a metaverse?
That's a great question. And it's a very large question. So let me zoom out a tiny bit. We estimate that the built world is a $230 trillion asset class. And that is approximately 3 times larger than all of the equity markets put together. So it's a very, very large opportunity, and it's a largely analog market, which has not been digitalized yet. So huge amount of opportunity there. If you come down another layer to what does that mean for the built world and the metaverse, you have approximately 4 billion buildings in the world. And those 4 billion buildings represent around 20 billion spaces that can be captured, because one building is not the equivalent of one space. One building could be retail on the ground floor, offices on the middle floors, and residential on the top. So those 4 billion buildings actually become 20 billion spaces. And for Matterport, we sort of see that as a $240 billion addressable market. That's the market we can go capture right now. And we're set up to do that. At Matterport, so we click down to where Matterport is today. So far, we've captured 5 million spaces. So a long way away from where we believe the potential metaverse could really be. And that's less than 1%. So we're really at the beginning of this journey. Those 5 million spaces that we've captured so far represent 15 billion square feet of space, which sounds like a big number, but if you were to visualize what does 15 billion square feet look like, it's the equivalent of 5 times New York City. So that is how much space has been captured so far on the platform. And we see a huge potential, as we lean in to digitalize the entire built environment. How do we get from these 5 million to the 20 billion spaces? And, the business potential of the metaverse is what can you do after that? For example, if I capture my home, can I integrate uses like the ability to add points of interest so that I can walk over to the washing machine and I can pull up the instructions for that washing machine? That's a very simple use case. Can I add richer data like the Internet of Things? Can I have my digital twin of my house and I can see inside that digital twin what the thermostat is and I can turn it up and down? Another one is the ability to virtually stage. I might want to refurbish one of my rooms. Can I virtually stage my digital twin? So once you have a digital twin of your property, the metaverse really enables the digital world and physical worlds to interact in a much, much more effective fashion. And we see the metaverse being potentially the third iteration of the internet. So the first iteration of the internet was search. Big search engines came out. Second iteration was social. A lot of social platforms were launched. And we really see this third iteration being the metaverse and the ability for the digital world and the physical world to interact with each other seamlessly, but also create a huge amount of opportunity and synergy by having everything online in digital twin form.
Thank you. It's very interesting. Could you tell us more about your platform partners?
With pleasure. So I spoke a little bit about some of the applications that you could do inside a residential property. There are so many use cases. And I mentioned before about kind of the property life cycle and the different verticals that we work within. So the different verticals are travel and hospitality, architecture, engineering, insurance, construction, residential property, commercial property. But within those verticals, you have a life cycle. So during the construction process, that property is being built and someone might want to capture it at each stage. Once it's finished, that property gets ready to be sold. So you have another digital twin of the finished state. Then that property needs to get managed. How do they manage, the facilities management of that property? You might have another model with richer information there. And then you might want to insure that property. So you send it to the insurance company and say, this is what it looks like. I'd like to insure it. And if a disaster ever happens, when it gets rebuilt, you can check that the rebuilt model matches the original model. So there's a whole life cycle of how a property, how you interact with a property, and that could result in many digital twins. The other part of the platform is what data can you put on top of all of the verticals, but also the life cycle. So let's talk about construction, for example. Having a platform partner one of our platform partners are building apps that can integrate different phases of construction into the platform. So I can go backwards and forwards in time, and I can really see that construction process, so that when the electrician comes in, I can say to the electrician, hold on, before you drill a hole here, this is where the plumbing went. Have a look at the plumbing model. And the ability to interact with different versions of the construction process. Retail is another great vertical, and we've got a lot of platform partners building apps on top of the Matterport data. And those platform applications for retail are things like the ability to virtually stage or virtually shop fit a retail unit, and also do store design. So if a big retailer is rolling out a new shop window, everybody can copy the shop window. Or if there's merchandising on particular aisles, which height to put certain items on which shelves, there are many different apps built on top of the digital twin that help them communicate that to all the stores around the world. Another one, I mentioned on retail, but also is very important for commercial real estate and for facilities management, is integrating, the Internet of Things and rich data. So being able to walk around a digital twin of your factory, and you can walk up to a piece of machinery, click on it, and you can see, is this machinery running at the right temperature? Is it running at the right output? And being able to really see all of the data within that physical environment being shown in the digital twin as well. So those are some of the applications of where our platform marketplace is going to. And we've actually signed 50 platform partners who are building on top of the digital twin data set in the last 6 months. So that's our platform marketplace. The other way to answer your question, take it a little bit further, is we've just done a collaboration with Facebook, which is really exciting, where Facebook are leveraging our data set of digital twins to train artificial intelligence robotics. So essentially giving robots the ability to walk around a property in a much easier and more effective fashion by training them on our 3D data set. So stop them from falling down the stairs, stop them from bumping into things. So they're using our data set to train these robots with AI. And their vision is for the robots to be able to start to do more of the kind of things you need to do in your home. So for example, one of the use cases is the robot will go and open the front door, accept your shopping, bring it into your house, and then unpack it into the fridge, which I personally love. I think that's an amazing application, which I would love to have in the house. Or just clean the house. So lots and lots of exciting stuff there. But really, Facebook are using our data set to train these robots to really get to that next level of navigation and ability to, perform these day-to-day activities. So it's an exciting space.
Thank you. Exciting is definitely the word. What challenges do Matterport face when it comes to the scaling of its digital twin library?
So at the moment, I would say we don't really have any challenges. We've got a 10-year track record of having a first mover advantage and a first scaler advantage. And because of that, we're in a very good position to lean in. And, we've just done, we're now a publicly listed company, and we've just received a big chunk of cash into the company. And that's all for extending our leadership position. And we're going to do that in a number of ways. So, the first one is developing our own artificial intelligence engine, which takes any 2D imagery and makes it 3D. Our AI is called Cortex. And at the moment, if you upload a model from a 360 camera, or if you upload a model from an iPhone, or soon to be an Android phone, that goes into Cortex. Cortex takes that 2D data, uses our data set, turns that media into the 3D digital twin that everyone has seen and Matterport is famous for. And how can we take that AI further? Can we do object recognition? So at the moment, we can already recognize a room. So we have seen so many bedrooms that our AI knows this is a bedroom, and they can label it on the plan, this is a bedroom. So we can already do room recognition, and we can also already do object recognition. The AI can recognize doors, windows, tables, and a number of other objects. But how many more objects can it recognize? We're going to keep training that data set and developing our artificial intelligence. So that's one, our AI called Cortex. The second one is obviously the third-party integrations and platforms, which I've spoken a little bit about. Huge potential in platforms. There are loads of verticals and loads of use cases where we see many different developers creating bespoke tools and products on top of the platform. So that's the third-party platform, but also democratizing. So the third thing I want to mention is democratizing the capture. So Matterport is very well known for our Pro 2 camera, and that's like the workhorse camera that we've had in the market that we created. But we have integrations with Insta and Ricoh, who develop 360 cameras as third-party hardware, as well as iPhone and Android. So we've really democratized the ability to capture a digital twin, and anybody can use their phone and go out and capture a digital twin today. So the barrier to entry to create a digital twin of your home or any space is very, very low, and we're going to continue to develop that as well. Those are kind of some of the big buckets. The other one that's worth mentioning is our geographic expansion. So at the moment, we have a headquarters in San Francisco for the Americas, in London for EMEA, and Singapore for APAC. And so there are three kind of tech hubs in the world. How are we going to expand into more and more geographies? In EMEA, we are actively growing into the 116 countries that are in EMEA, and we're doing that a number of ways, through channel partners, through online, and also through, by democratizing the capture and making it very easy for people to get onto the platform. It really helps us scale the business as well. So geographic expansion is another big growth vector that we've got.
For those watching, could you tell us what the best way to get in touch with Matterport is?
So the best way to get in touch with Matterport is by either following us on social media, so LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. We've got a lot of social media content, but really you're able to use Matterport today. Our starting plan is as low as free. So, to become a Matterport customer, it's as easy as free all the way up to enterprise customers. But for free, you can open an account by visiting matterport.com, and you can get started today with your iPhone capturing right away.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining me today, James.
With pleasure. Thank you very much for having me, Rory.
Thank you. That's it from myself. Get more XR news today by subscribing to the XR Today news channel and by following our socials. I'm Rory Greener from XR Today. Thank you very much for watching.